Sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. These facts may surprise you. This video will reveal some incredible and shocking facts that are true. You'll learn how elephants hear with their feet, about tumors that grow their own hair and teeth, and about the quantity of particles humans shed each hour. 1. A single sneeze travels 100 miles per hour and shoots 100,000 germs into the air. Our bodies contain a variety of mechanisms for catching and eliminating foreign invaders such as bacteria and pollen. Sneezing is just one of the more unusual and complex ways the body protects your lungs from infection, and it happens with surprising speed and efficiency. It's a customary courtesy for many individuals that has grown so entrenched in them that it's a reflexive reaction when they hear a sneeze. According to a new study, the first priority when someone sneezes near you should be to back away before offering any blessings. Researchers from the University of Bristol tested the airborne survival of germs in cough and sneeze droplets. They discovered that a single sneeze or cough can disperse 100,000 infectious germs into the air at speeds of up to 100 miles per hour. This is why it is advised to keep a 6-foot distance from a sick person who is sneezing. You'll know what to do the next time someone continues sneezing. 2. Elephants can hear with their feet. Elephants, with their massive ears, should be able to pick up on every sound, both near and far. However, it turns out that the animals use their feet to detect distant noises. They used to scan back and forth by holding their large ears out like a parabola. They'd freeze and lean forward, putting weight on their front legs, to detect distant noise and vocalizations. They'd even lift one of their front feet on occasion. It was too well coordinated to be a coincidence that they would all do it at the same moment. 3. Between birth and death, the human body goes from having 300 bones to just 206. Every individual has a skeleton made up of several bones. These bones provide structure to your body, allow you to move in a variety of ways, and protect your internal organs, among other things. At birth, a baby's body has roughly 300 bones. Adults have 206 bones, which eventually fuse, grow together. Some of a baby's bones are entirely formed of a substance known as cartilage. Other bones in an infant are partially cartilage covered. This cartilage is flexible and soft. During childhood, the cartilage expands and is gradually replaced by bone, with the help of calcium. This process will be completed by the time you reach the age of 25. There is no more room for growth after this. The bones have reached their maximum size. These bones combine to form a skeleton that is both strong and light. 4. There are certain kinds of tumors that can grow their own teeth and hair. Teratoma is the medical term for this. Teratomas are an uncommon type of germ cell tumor that can contain immature or completely formed tissue such as teeth, hair, bone, or muscle. Teratomas are malignant or non-cancerous tumors that can affect persons of various ages. Surgical removal is required for treatment. Chemotherapy, radiation therapy, or other cancer treatments may be required for cancerous teratomas. 5. Newly born babies can't drown because their windpipes close in response to being submerged. However, that reflex disappears at 6 months, not recommended to test this at home. It's a common misconception that newborns are born with the ability to swim. Although babies have reflexes that make them appear to be swimming, this is not the case. When babies are submerged in water, a reflex known as the bradycardic response, also known as the diving reflex, causes them to hold their breath and open their eyes. Blowing in your baby's face will produce the similar reaction. After 6 months, the reflex begins to fade, but it might linger up to a year. Many baby swim programs rely on these reflexes to help babies swim, but babies aren't old enough or strong enough to hold their breath or keep their heads above water. They won't be ready to learn to swim because of their developmental stage. 6. Astronauts can grow up to 2 inches taller in space. NASA experts claim that astronauts in space can grow up to 3% taller during their stay in microgravity. That means a 6-foot-tall, 1.8-meter, human in orbit may gain up to 2 inches, 5 centimeters, in height. While scientists have long known that astronauts gain a small amount of height during their months on the International Space Station, NASA is only now beginning to employ ultrasound technology to see what happens to astronauts' spines in microgravity. Previous research has revealed that when the spine is not subjected to the gravitational pull of Earth, the vertebra can expand and relax, allowing astronauts to grow taller. However, that modest increase is fleeting. After a few months on the ground, the astronaut's height returns to normal. However, until today, scientists have not been able to examine the astronaut's spinal columns while they are in microgravity. 7. In cases of extreme starvation, the brain will begin to eat itself. Scientists have long known that when a body is starving for food, cells begin to eat bits and pieces of themselves. Autophagy is the term for this process. Autophagy is a normal cellular process that breaks down elements that are no longer needed. It's a regular part of the cell cycle, and it's how other cells receive energy when things become rough. However, it was considered that under these settings, the brain was mostly resistant to autophagy. However, at least one portion of the brain now appears to be self-cannibalizing. It's the hypothalamus, which sits directly above the brain stem and controls a wide range of processes such as sleep, body temperature, thirst, and hunger. When mice were deprived of food, the researchers discovered that neurons in the hypothalamus began devouring their own organelles and proteins. After that, autophagy triggered a cascade of events, including the release of fatty acids, which led to the release of hunger signals, informing the brain that more food was required. 8. Stomach acid can dissolve metal. If it touched your skin, it would burn right through it. Potassium chloride, sodium chloride, and hydrochloric acid make up stomach acid, often known as gastric acid. What is the strength of gastric acid? Acids are measured using a scale called the pH scale. The pH scale ranges from 0 to 14. The most acidic is 0, the most neutral is 7, and the least acidic is 14. The pH of stomach acid is normally between 1 and 3. The pH of stomach acid is barely below that of battery acid at its peak. As a result, it can eat through your stomach food very quickly. What stops our stomach acid from eating a hole right through us? The epithelial cells in your stomach are responsible for protecting you. The mucus and bicarbonate solution produced by these specialized cells coats the inside of the stomach. The base bicarbonate neutralizes gastric acid. The mucus produced by epithelial cells also acts as a barrier on the stomach's walls. This protects the lining of your stomach from acid. 9. Humans shed about 600,000 particles of skin every hour. Humans do shed their skin, but not in the same way as snakes do, which often falls off in one huge piece. Could you fathom how that would appear in public? No, our shedding is less visible, but it serves an important role. It is actually a disease prevention mechanism. Every hour, we shed roughly 600,000 skin particles, which equates to about 1.5 pounds of skin per year, or 105 pounds by the time we reach 70. In short, numerous fungus, bacteria, parasites, and worms feed on human skin. If we didn't shed it, these animals would infect us with a variety of diseases. 10. In camera terms, the human eye is about 576 megapixels. Have you ever wondered how large the human eye's resolution is? The human eye is capable of memorizing all object shapes, colors, sizes, and features at the same time. So, can you guess how many megapixels the human eye has? Human eyes have a resolution of 576 megapixels, according to a group of scientists. That's more than 200 times the resolution of the typical smartphone and more than the latest and greatest 4K ultra-high-definition displays. That's enough resolution for a 43-foot wide image to be printed. The human eye has a higher resolution and can see finer details than current digital cameras. You now know that the human eye has a resolution of 576 MP. 11. Smelling apples or bananas can help you lose weight. It's true that smelling green apples or bananas before each meal will help you lose weight. This is an established scientific truth. To demonstrate this, researchers selected a group of over 3,200 overweight women and forced them to inhale specific odors whenever they were hungry. The women chosen ranged in age from 18 to 64. They were instructed to inhale the fragrances of bananas, peppermint, vanilla, and green apple. The study lasted 6 months, and the ladies shed about 14 kilograms on average throughout that time. A comparable test was conducted in a different context with similar results. Firstly, our sense of smell causes us to become hungry. If the scent we smell is particularly appetizing, we crave food and end up overeating. Furthermore, when our brain receives signals from our nose about a particular type of food, it thinks that it has eaten the food. The result is that we start feeling full and uninterested in eating more. In simple terms, we can say that smelling these neutral sweet scents can curb our appetite and we end up eating less. In the long term, this means weight loss. 12. When we breathe in and out of our nose during the day, one nostril does most of the work at a time, with the duties switching every several hours. According to some scientists, the alternating airflow permits each nostril to maintain ideal moisture levels, ensuring that no one side becomes dry. It may also protect against allergies and respiratory infections. Others feel it has something to do with our sense of smell, or olfaction. It's likely that the faster and slower airflow in each nostril helps us to recognize a wider spectrum of smells. Some odors take longer to perceive and communicate with the brain. However, because our nasal cycle changes with our body's position and age, there is no simple answer. People who are right-handed seem to breathe more through their left nostril. Heart rate, blood pressure, blood glucose levels, how much we blink, autism, fever, and other factors may all be linked to the cycle. When we're unwell, we're more aware of breathing through one nostril than the other since the side with less airflow seems more restricted. So much about this function is mysterious. Did any of these facts surprise you? And do you know of others I might not have heard before? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching.